Warning, you're about to see a very, very different side of Detroit. I'm reminded of the phrase, "Don't cry for me, Argentina." Well, in this case, cry for me, Detroit. You'll see why. Geographically, Detroit is one of the biggest cities in the United States, and it seems to have an incredible number of neighborhoods, many of which are still in economic crisis, and I say that with tongue in cheek because it seems to be more than economic crisis, it's devastating. A Blight task force in 2014 said 40,000 abandoned houses needed to be torn down and 38,000 others were falling apart in one of the nation's poorest major cities that emerged in December 2014 from the largest municipal bankruptcy in U.S. history. Now, I don't mean to imply in any way, shape, or form that all of Detroit looks like this, but believe me, from my experience, it doesn't take long to drive into a neighborhood similar to this. But there are, of course, other neighborhoods which are a lot better. And historically speaking, Detroit used to be a great city, and it had terrific neighborhoods. But in this vlog, I would like to indeed drive through some of the abandoned, decimated neighborhoods of Detroit, sections of Detroit that make Detroit unique in the entire world when it comes to a major city. Yes, Detroit is America's great comeback city, but that comeback is mostly in the center of Detroit. The neighborhoods. There is so much left to be done, it begs the question, can it be done? Warning, you're about to see a very, very different side of Detroit. I'm reminded of the phrase, "Don't cry for me, Argentina." Well, in this case, cry for me, Detroit. You'll see why as I drive through some of the neighborhoods. And don't miss my narrative at the end of this vlog. Warning, you're about to see a very, very different side of Detroit. I'm reminded of the phrase, don't cry for me, Argentina. Well, in this case, cry for me, Detroit. Am I exaggerating? Well, no, not if you think of most of us have a house, and think of it. At some point, the breadwinner comes home and says, honey, I've lost my job. We have no way of keeping the house. We have to leave. Think of the anguish, the agony, the misery, the crying. It's a terrible situation that none of us would want to go through. And yet Detroit, a major American city, went through this devastation. The only other place I can think of where there's something similar would be in a war zone. Detroit was not a war zone. Even though there was a riot of 1967, it was not a war zone. So the gutting of the automobile industry in Detroit and the riots of 1967 pretty well did a number on Detroit and emptied the city of its population of close to 2 million people down to 700,000. But well, just a reflection. I can't believe I actually saw this, but I did. I did. And that is why I conclude with Cry for Me, Detroit. Yes, agreed, driving through these neighborhoods was not the safest thing to do, but I always kept a sharp eye ahead of me and especially behind me. And on the rare occasions I did see people, I sure as heck put my camera away. Join me next Friday for more on this fascinating city of Detroit. And if you made it this far, I'd appreciate a thumbs up and maybe a comment. Don't forget, even if you're subscribed, you need to click on the alert bell in order to get notification of the next vlog published every Friday.